people. He promotes their products and services on television, emphasizing the comfort his creations can bring to their owners. These specially programmed female robots are equipped with the memories of real people. William, an agent of Like Wife, visits the company to pick up his robot companion. Marion praises William's role within the organization. William recently lost his wife, and Like Wife offers him a second chance at companionship with the robot named Meredith. He recalls the day he first met her. She had visited him as part of her advocacy to end traditional wifely roles, something she had always disagreed with. Ironically, the company that promoted that ideology now gives her a second chance at life. William takes Meredith home and begins to show her how to be his wife, and she starts to remember being his spouse. They eventually spend quality time together, holding hands.
It's beating quite fast. Your heart. Meredith must have loved her life.
After a while, William expresses his desire for her to spend the night with him in bed. After setting to enhance her sexuality, they spend intimate time together. Before they sleep together, she reminds him that she needs to charge her battery overnight. When she enters her charging room, she notices a mysterious man wearing a mask watching her from a nearby tree. However, he quickly leaves before she can identify him. While there, she also finds several diaries belonging to the original Meredith. Briefly, she flips through them, scolding herself for doing so. While making breakfast for William the next day, Meredith overhears some citizens criticizing Like Wife. She later learns that several companions have gone missing. They were kidnapped by members of SCARE, a protest group. Since William works in a unit responsible for retrieving stolen companions, the news of the disappearances means he has to take action. At work, Meredith tries on clothes and makeup belonging to the original Meredith. However, applying makeup proves challenging for a robot, and she makes a mess of the lipstick. Meanwhile, William's task at work is locating two missing companions. He insists that they need to find the leader of the rebel groups, known by the nickname Ringmaster, and inquires about him, but there is no trace of him. Later, when William begins searching for his friends, he is fortunate to encounter Wendy, who has escaped. She is wearing an electronic band around her neck that is programmed to electrocute her if she strays too far from the facility where they are being held. Thankfully, William finds her in time and disables the band before she can suffer further harm. Wendy informs him about the other two companions, prompting him to rescue them as well. William locates the second companion, but just before he can save them, a man points a gun at that companion. William reacts quickly, shooting the man and successfully rescuing the second companion. Back at home, Meredith charges her battery and enters dream mode. Within this dream state, she meets her interactive dream operator, IDO. After agreeing to enter a dream, she is transported to a scene from her birthday. Here, she encounters William and a masked man who hands her a card featuring a bird reminiscent of a character from Angry Birds. After this encounter, Meredith returns to IDO to ask about the masked man, but IDO claims no record of him. Meredith declines when IDO asks if she wants to file a report, but requests to activate her knitting mode, which IDO assists her with. Using this new skill, she knits a pillow adorned with the image of the bird from the masked man's card. Later in the day, Meredith decides to try riding a bicycle. However, a mysterious woman startles her, causing her to fall off. The woman urges her to remember who she is, insisting their time is running out. Confused, Meredith shares this encounter with William. Still, he dismisses it, suggesting that many women resent companions because they take their husbands away. Meredith then presents the knitted gift to William, but his reaction is underwhelming. He comments that she never knew how to knit. Later that night, when Meredith prepares to dream again, she encounters IDO, but finds that some of her dreams are locked.
Phone hack, they don't want you to know. If you see this message on your phone, do not buy.
How embarrassing.
IDO decides to give her a random dream in which she meets William. However, the masked man appears instead. Panic rises in Meredith as she asks him why he has been following her. She admits she doesn't remember him, leading him to shake her as if trying to jar her memory loose. At the same time, William wakes her up. She asks him about the masked man, but he tells her not to worry about him because she just had a nightmare. Meredith begins researching her old journals because she wants to know why the masked man is after her, especially after he tells her he knows everything about her, including the things she has forgotten. One day, William is called to find a companion, Lisa. He tracks her to an apartment where she works and goes in to pick her up. However, she has changed her appearance and name and refuses to return with William. Furthermore, she tells him that she doesn't like her current owner. William instructs her to return, but she tells him she ran away voluntarily and will not love her owner no matter how often she is reprogrammed. Lisa wants to say goodbye to one of her friends before leaving, and when William is unresponsive, she quickly runs away and decides to jump from a height to end her life, which shakes him. Back home, a mysterious lady named Louise visits Meredith. She tells Meredith that the masked man wants to see her in person. However, Meredith is not in the mood to meet him. She demands that Louise leave and threatens to report their meeting to William. Meanwhile, William returns home with Lisa's body. He learns that the company is now focusing on a new project called Childlike, an artificial intelligence program designed to create children. William expresses his concerns about this new project. His experience with Lisa has led him to believe that some companions can be reprogrammed, potentially endangering their owners or even taking their lives. Therefore, he worries that there may be better ideas for children. However, the company's CEO is dismissive of his concerns.
This is the future, and futures are always a little uncertain. Look at where we are!
Later, Meredith knits another Angry Birds pillow for William. Still, from his expression, he doesn't appreciate it very much. She tells him about her meeting with Louise, prompting William to call his companion Jack home. When Jack arrives, they devise a plan to let Meredith sleep while they try to find the masked man Keen's address. They put her to sleep, and the IDO takes her and Keen to a dreamlike place. While she is dreaming, Jack and William monitor her dreams. In the dream, Keen finally removes his mask, revealing that their memories have been wiped. He then gives her an address so she can meet him as soon as she wakes up. When she awakens, Meredith finds William and Jack preparing to go to the address Keen provided. A little confused, she tells them she remembers Keen's face. However, William insists she stays home because he and his partner are heading to Keen's location. Upon their arrival, they discover a trap. Outside, William finds someone on a bench and immediately shoots him, but soon realizes that he has been tricked and thinks that Keen will probably go to see Meredith. He rushes home to find Meredith, who tells him that Keen left a book on their doorstep but did not harm her. She believes that he might not be as terrifying as they think. William, however, warns her that Keen has used her for malicious activities, including bombings.
You were involved in several bombing campaigns that killed many innocent people.
Determined, William decides to follow Meredith into the dreamland to search for Keen, who has always been challenging to catch. Jack warns him of the risk involved, explaining that if things go wrong, it could cause permanent damage to his mind. Despite the warning, William accepts the risk and enters Meredith's dream. Before entering the dream, he urges Meredith to exit the dream if her battery drops to 10%, and she agrees. He eventually encounters Keen in her dream and tells Meredith to run away. He then begins to fight with Keen.
You stand for nothing.
Ido! Where am I?
Unfortunately, Meredith disappears into the forest and seeks help from the IDO. The IDO moves everyone in the forest to a new scene, and William instructs them to leave as he prepares to continue the fight. Keen taunts William, saying that Meredith will eventually remember everything. William retorts that he is ready to continue erasing her memory. Meredith hides nearby, watching the two fight, and inadvertently hears William's voice. As the struggle intensifies, William begins to strangle Keen. However, Meredith intentionally drains her battery, which forces her to leave her dream state and wake William up. Jack expresses his dissatisfaction with William's confrontation with Keen in Meredith's dream, warning him that taking Keen's life would be illegal. William stubbornly insists he will do everything he can to take Keen away from Meredith. She expresses her reluctance to erase her memories when William returns home. Still, he convinces her that it is for her own good. He then arranges to take her to the hospital for a memory wipe. At the facility, Meredith meets other supporters interested in overthrowing Wifelike. She is confused about how they remember their past lives, but they explain how to store her memories in the random files of Dream Mode.
Just select what you want to remember. Cut and paste in a new file, under Dream Mode. Save it without a name. It falls under random, it gets lost in the shuffle. That's brilliant.
Meanwhile, Louise gives Jack's girlfriend a file belonging to Jack, which she hands him when he comes home. Upon examining the file's contents, Jack is shocked by what he discovers. He confronts William about the information in the file, revealing the truth about Keen. It turns out that William took Keen's life, which is why they were unable to find him when they searched. Keen only exists in Meredith's memory. This revelation explains William's desperate need to erase her memories. With this shocking truth, Jack decides to arrest William for the crime. However, William defends himself by saying that he has always loved Meredith and knew she should be his. Jack pulls out his gun, but isn't fast enough, and William quickly shoots him. Not long after, Meredith walks in and confronts William about the deaths of his colleagues, Jack and Keen. She reveals that she can now access all her memories. Meredith wasn't always a companion. She was once a member of SCR. One day, she visited William's house and asked him to sign a petition against Wifelike. William was instantly captivated by her. Despite her relationship with Keen, William became obsessed with Meredith and began to follow her. One day, he arrested Meredith and Keen, fabricating charges against them. In a shocking turn of events, William shot Keen. Then he took Meredith's life, putting a ring on her finger and bringing her to jail as his wife, effectively turning her into his companion. Fortunately, her memories were hidden among her random thoughts and didn't disappear completely. The IDO also enabled her to access these memories. As she looks back, she questions the morality of William's actions. After boosting her strength, she duels with William and ultimately kills him.
That was for Meredith.